We live in an AI world these days. AI can write emails
Yep.
for us. It can summarize meetings. It can generate plans. It can help us think faster, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But it can cause anxiety for professionals and especially for leaders. So the real question I think becomes, what kind of leader still stands out when information and technical output are increasingly commoditized? That's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, welcome to the M Squared Leadership Conversation. This is a space where we talk honestly about the real problems that leaders face and what it takes to lead in the real world. I'm Michelle Hales.
I'm Michael Hales. Welcome in.
Welcome. We're in our new space today.
How do you guys like to do studio?
We took a little time off. We're back. Hope you like the space. More importantly, we're excited about the conversations that we're going to have in this space.
100%.
And we felt like the topic today was really important to lead back into our conversations because it's so relevant, and we're seeing more and more leaders kind of have this anxiety around AI.
And, AI is definitely here to stay. It's the latest and greatest technology that we have. And, I don't know about you, I'm all for
Absolutely.
technology. I think, we'd be irresponsible leaders if we weren't taking advantage of the latest and greatest and trying to learn all that we can. And like you and I were talking earlier, seems like there's a new AI tool coming out every other day with ChatGPT, which I use. There's Claude. There's a friend of ours introduced us to something called Napkin, which generates graphics and stuff. And there's literally dozens of other ones out there that I don't know about. But the point is that it's a thing, it's not going away. There is some risk that comes along with its
Yes.
proliferation in our society and in our work environment these days.
And there's
So-
a false fear that AI is replacing leaders.
That is the key. I think that's what we want to talk
It's
about.
a false fear, though.
Yeah.
That's not what's really happening. More importantly, the more accurate concern really is that AI is exposing shallow leadership.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so we've got to kind of gather around and create a more robust leadership practice, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I love it. So let's talk about that exposing shallow leadership a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that, as we said, leaders who are going to be the most effective ones in their space certainly want to be technologically adept. They want to know what's available. They want to take advantage of what's available. But I think there are some tried and true leadership practices and things that aren't going away. Things that technological advancement is not going to change about the way that we interact with
Absolutely.
people and
For
lead
sure.
people. And AI is not going to replace that.
Nope.
So we kind of need to separate what AI is good for and is useful for versus what is inherently and exclusively human that AI is
Yes.
not going to be able to replicate.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
So, what are some things maybe that AI is really good and useful?
Okay, so I think for me, and you have to understand that I think you would agree, you're a practitioner of leadership. I'm a practitioner, I'm not a theorist. I love leadership theory and I like to follow people who are smart enough to develop leadership theory. I'm probably not that person. I'm more of a practitioner and I want to figure out, okay, what do we do with all this stuff? And so, drawing on my own experience and how I use AI, I admit I was kind of late to the party, and I'm using it now virtually every day. ChatGPT is my go-to AI program, I guess for lack of a better word, tool that I use, and I use it to generate ideas. It's really good at that, to help me get unstuck if I'm bumping up against something. What do I do with this? It can quickly generate 10 different ways I could go. But I think the trap for people is when okay, probably you all are not, but I'm inherently a little bit lazy. And I think people fall into this trap or this temptation. AI is so good at doing stuff that we'll just kind of put ourselves in the passenger seat, put the AI tool in the driver's seat, and we kind of let it do our work for us. I don't think that is the best use of the technology.
Correct.
I think that we need to not abdicate our responsibilities and just let AI handle it all. We need to use it as a supplement for our own ideas, our own independent thought, our own gut instincts. Okay, I think that's a thing in leadership
Absolutely.
that we don't need to abandon. In the applying context of whatever leadership challenge we're facing is so important, and it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So you can't just punch something into an AI tool and it gives you a magic solution to your issue. It can't know, it doesn't know, and it can't possibly know all the
For sure.
intricacies of what your situation is.
Yes. And I think that's where people overestimate what AI really can do.
Overestimate its value.
And
yes.
We fall into the trap of, then you said, kind of become lazy. You know, there's something about us as humans that we need to create.
Yes.
And we can't let AI do all of our creating.
Right.
We have to have our original thoughts. We have to have, AI really should support our creativity.
It can certainly enhance
Sure.
our creativity, but it can't replace. We don't need to let it replace our creativity.
There's something that happens, with our brain, our chemicals that are released when we are able to create on our own. Whether that be we know what needs to go into a spreadsheet, or whether we are planting, and growing an herb garden, or whether we're writing or art or whatever it may be, leadership conversations. Our brain does something really amazing that is good for us, that's good for our health. It releases chemicals that makes us happy, that makes us feel good, that makes us
fulfilled.
Makes us fulfilled. Exactly. And so I think, overestimating that AI is going to take care of that. And you think, well, it's my job. I just, if AI can do my job, let AI do my job. No, your job, where you go to work every day and the way that you show up at work is part of who you are. It's part of your health. It's part of what you're spending your life doing. So
yeah, we try this work-life balance is such a thing over the last several years.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a misnomer.
It is, because people keep trying to say,
you try to separate.
You try to separate.
And it can't be done.
Right. You are still a person when you go to work.
I'm still Michael, whether I'm on the job or off.
Right.
And, I'm a package deal.
Right.
You don't just get to get work mic'd.
And that's where we love helping leaders to make sure that they're helping their people get to be who they really are, even at work. Not treating them like robots when they come to work. And so that's our favorite thing to do, is helping leaders develop leaders at work and develop people at work.
Let's talk a little bit about, we've talked about how we can't allow AI to be in the driver's seat and us just be along for the ride. So what are some leadership things that, leadership capacities that we can't allow AI to replace because it's not capable of doing it?
Right.
Let's talk about a few
Yeah,
of those.
the first thing that comes to mind is judgment.
Okay.
AI cannot replace judgment of what is needed right now, right here, what is right and wrong.
You're
what
saying
is,
that's
what
a
is
human
ethical.
thing.
Being ethical, using judgment is absolutely a human thing. Yeah. because sometimes you have to make decisions with incomplete information. And I think we make the mistake that AI knows everything. Well,
Right.
AI is just pulling from different sources. Those sources may not be true. The sources have to be
Garbage
proven.
in, garbage out.
Absolutely. And so I think judgment is one of those things.
And we touched on this earlier with the conversation about context. Just like you said, AI doesn't know everything. It can't know everything because it's only as good as the information that goes into it.
And how much garbage is on the internet?
Oh, end of conversation, mic drop. So there's that, and then there's being able to filter and sort that information and
Yes.
and ascribe a different value to this piece of information versus this
Sure.
one.
And what may actually be technically correct, but if you put it into practice right here, right now, it's foolish.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Yeah. So that's just judgment. That's using judgment on, the information that you have at your disposal.
This brings to mind something that I read not too long ago, and it may have been in the book Primal Leadership. I think it was by Daniel Goleman and a couple of his colleagues. So it's about emotional intelligence, and it went to this idea of gut reactions, gut instincts, gut feelings. You have these a lot. I'm not so good at it. I'm more of a, if I can process it in my brain, then and see the chain of logic that leads me to whatever decision I'm reaching, I'm better at that. You're very good, and certain personalities are better than others at just, I don't feel right about that. I don't feel, and you use the word feel a lot. That's scientifically valid. That's not just, I got this from nowhere. It comes from somewhere. Our brains take in, you've studied this a little bit, take in so much information. There's this, what's the RAS, reticular something? Reticular activation system in our brains that automatically filters information because we take in, there's a million different stimuli in this room that my brain is aware of. My brain takes in, but I'm not consciously aware of them because my brain knows I don't need to know that right now.
It uses it as a filter for you.
And so what we call gut instinct is really our brain working in the background and using all of that information and putting it together in ways that we're not even consciously aware of. So there's a gut instinct and gut reaction that AI is never going to be able to replicate. It just can't.
Right.
So that goes, I think, to judgment. Your gut instincts matter and they're valid, and we need to pay attention to them. That's a part of our human ability to make decisions and lead in the way that we need to lead.
Absolutely. So it's all comes down to context and timing and ethics and the consequences of the decision. What's going to be the result of when this decision is made, even
All
if it's
aspects,
technically correct.
All aspects of judgment that AI simply can't replicate.
Absolutely.
Very good.
Yeah. So that's one. The other one I think kind of leads into it and is very much what you were just talking about is discernment. So that's the gut reactions that we have.
Kind of connected.
It is. It's being able to just kind of tell the difference between what's behind the scenes working kind of thing. When you have discernment, somebody's saying one thing.
Oh, that's good.
But you're seeing verbal cues, you're seeing
nonverbal.
Nonverbal cues, exactly.
Yeah. Body language.
All the different things.
Inflection, tone,
all the things.
facial expressions.
They're saying something else. So you have to not just process the words that they're saying, which is kind of what AI would do. AI would process the information that is
It's very literal. It has to be.
And some personalities are like that. Some people have better discernment than others, but the discernment, I think, is, so we got judgment, discernment, I think just kind of falls in right behind that.
Yeah. Another thing that came to mind while you were talking is, in addition to what's being said, what's not being said. That maybe, in a perfect situation, you would expect that they would have commented on whatever, but they just conveniently left that part out. You need some human intuition and discernment in order to be
To
able
know
to,
when there
to
might
know
be
that.
avoidance or
Yes.
overemphasis on something that's not the real issue.
Deflection.
Those kinds of things.
So good. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
What else?
All right. So I think another capacity that AI will never be able to replace is courage. Is AI going to have the real conversations, the hard conversations? And as we lead, I think that's one of the things that we have to be able to have courage to stop and have real conversations.
Courage is so important. We've talked about our human leadership framework a couple of episodes ago, maybe more than that. Humility, understanding, mindfulness, attitude, nurturing, all those things.
Right.
Courage didn't make it into the acrostic because there's no C in human, but courage is such a foundational trait for a leader. You're not going to do any of that other stuff without courage. It's a necessary component to be able to do because leadership is hard, Michelle.
Leadership is hard, and it requires us to take risk.
Yes.
Risk of rejection, risk of
Failure.
And the conversations that we need to have the courage to have, are holding people accountable. And when we do that, we face rejection. We face, being thought of as less than, or people not loving us as a leader.
We all want to be loved.
We all want to be liked. We want to be liked. We want to be a likable leader. But we've got to be able to hold people accountable for them to be able to grow. And we got to be able to give honest feedback. And that takes courage.
Radical candor.
Radical candor comes to mind when I think of courage.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. It's hard to have those conversations. And when, a lot of times I was reading an article this morning, and it was talking about how leaders, are fearing AI, and they're fearing what, when they are trying to be honest around the conversations, what it might trigger and the feedback that they may get from, and we have to have courage to speak up when we need to speak up. And even if it triggers
it's
something,
gonna be unpopular.
when we know the feedback there's going to be what we call backlash. That we've got to have the courage and know what principles we're standing on when the backlash comes. Because it all comes down to values, right? Leadership is all about our values.
It goes back to what we said earlier in terms of using the inputs that go into any decision that a leader has to make. It all has to be weighted. It's not, every piece of information doesn't fit equally and in the same measure into a decision. Some are more important than others.
Correct.
And you have to have the full context in order to understand how to do that.
Yeah. And then another capacity that I would love for us to talk about is connection.
Okay, I love it.
So it's true that AI can simulate tone. And, we've learned even recently, as we've been given some advice on how to use AI.
Some great advice.
You have to tell them what tone you want to be spoken to.
Yeah.
Like, generally, AI is going to be very kind. It's going to tell you what you want to hear or what it thinks you want to hear because, it wants you to use it more.
Yeah. And I think that's...
And you have to set it up and say, hey, I actually want you to be brutally honest. I want you to cite your sources.
Yeah.
You have to give it this whole command.
Don't make me feel good about what you're telling me. Just tell me the truth.
Right. Tell me what's really going to be good here.
Yeah, help me.
And so AI can simulate different tones.
Absolutely. I've seen it.
But it can't build trust. So
Okay.
trust is what happens between two humans.
Yes.
And it's never going to, simulate trust. And that's where, it becomes deeply human when you lead, when you are exhibiting your values in leadership.
Okay, now we're really getting down, I think, to what leadership is all about. And I think a lot of times we may be tempted to equate leadership with management.
There you go.
And there's nothing wrong with management. We're not here to disparage managing. That's a thing,
has to be
and
done.
it's a necessary thing that has to be done. But you can manage tasks, you can manage projects, you can manage workloads, you can manage spreadsheets and everything. You have to lead people.
You lead people. You lead people, and you have to be connected to them to lead them well.
They have to trust you.
They have to trust
That's
you.
one of the foundational questions that John Maxwell asks, or says that people ask when they're going to decide whether to allow you to lead them. And you'll have
Can
to
I
help
trust
me.
you? Yeah, there's 3 questions.
Yeah, 3 of them. Can I trust you is one. Do you like me? And can you help me?
And can you help me?
Yeah, but trust, it's foundational to leadership. It's
Absolutely.
not going to leadership's not going to happen without it. And we've already established that AI can't build trust. It can't, create a real connection between a leader and a follower or members of a team or things like that.
If we're not careful, we can let AI trick us into thinking that we're competent. And and that's a good thing to a certain degree, but leadership is not about competency. So people don't follow competency, they follow humans.
They follow connection.
Right. And so you've got to be able to read the room, know your person, make people feel seen. We've talked about this before. Trust is a leadership currency. And the more trust you can build and put into that bank, the better you're going to be. Sometimes you have to make withdrawals, or there's a withdrawal made from the bank because you make a mistake, because you chose the wrong option.
And who's not going to make a mistake?
Because we're human.
all human.
We're human.
There's good and bad aspects of this humanity thing.
For sure. But trust is the currency of leadership, and you've got to build that trust. You've got to let people know that you see them, you hear them, you're there for them, you're helping them to grow. People want to grow. People don't want to stay stagnant. And that's that's the way that we show them, and they can trust in us, is when we honestly just love them and help them to grow.
So I want to backtrack just a minute on this connection point, because there's something I think that's important here. You mentioned, Michelle, that there's kind of 2 sides of this coin. There's the being a leader. There's the competency side, and there's the connection side. And I think we want to make clear that we're not suggesting that the competency side is not important. It absolutely
very much is.
But here's something I think is true. A lot of times we're tempted to put too much stock in the competency side and too little in the connection side. And I think there's reasons for that. One of them is competency is a lot of times easier.
Yeah.
Competency, you can kind of delegate to AI because the knowledge is out there. You just have to tap into it, and AI is fantastic at that. But then the connection side is more nebulous. It's harder to get your arms around. It's harder to practice. It's harder to build those muscles and get good at it, because human relationships are messy.
They are.
And they're difficult. But the thing is, you have to have both of those pieces in order to be an effective leader.
You can't be an idiot in your field.
There
you know
you go.
nothing about your field.
And just be a great people
And just
person.
be a wonderful
That doesn't
person.
make a great leader.
No, it doesn't. People want to know that their boss understands their work. even if they are the technical experts on the work, they want to know that their leader understands the work that they're doing, and because that's going to mean that their work has meaning,
Right.
that it's important.
But just don't swing the pendulum all the way in that direction
For
on
sure.
the competency side and neglect the connection side.
For sure.
Okay.
And I mean, I'll just put in a little plug right here. A lot of times the reason that is an issue within organizations is because people are promoted because they're technically competent.
Oh, I
And
love
they
it.
don't know how to lead. That's the reason we developed actually the New Leader Launchpad.
Absolutely.
So that people with excellent technical skills can have a way to just, start fresh, learn the leadership skills. So that we have that, and if anybody needs that kind of
We would love to
coursework,
talk
we
to
would
you
love to
about
talk to you
that.
more about that. But the New Leader Launchpad.
We both kind of lived through that and gotten promoted because we were technically good at what we did. And I know for myself, I won't speak for Michelle, but I crashed and burned in my first leadership role because I didn't know how to lead.
Right.
All I knew was how to be a good team member. And some of that translated, but not all of it did.
Right.
New Leader Launchpad. We'd love to talk to you
sure.
about it if you see that as a need in your organization. Okay, are there any more capacities that come to mind for you, Michelle?
Yeah, there's one final one, and I had actually started talking about it a little bit early, which is the way that I normally do. I get ahead of myself. But it's development.
We get excited about
We
this
do,
stuff.
we do. It's development. AI can give information, but leaders grow people.
Okay, now this reminds me of back to our human leadership framework, the N, nurturing.
Nurturing,
Developing
absolutely.
people, nurturing people.
Yeah, this is where you can just really lean into, if you want to affect your bottom line, we don't do this. We don't talk about this a lot because we don't want leadership to be manipulation.
Right.
But if you want to affect your bottom line and really grow your business and see profits soar and productivity jump through the roof,
All right, show of hands. Who all is interested in that?
right?
All right.
Grow your people. Invest in your people. Show them what it looks like for them to grow themselves. Show them what it really looks like to grow. And when you start investing in your people, you're going to get a return on your investment.
But isn't the leader just supposed to do it all and bear all the responsibility and carry all the weight, Michelle?
Sometimes it's actually easier. That's the kind of leader that I like to be honest. I mean, I really like to do it all. And our son is an emerging leader and just turns 30 in just a few days. And he's been leading a lot of Gen Z. And he has told me over and over again, it's just easier if I do it. It's just easier if I do it instead of trying to teach them. But he knows that he can't do his job well if he doesn't really train them and grow them to do their jobs.
It stands
well.
to reason. One person, no matter how good, how capable,
Absolutely.
they're going to have a limit. They've got a limit,
They've
and they're
got a
going to
limit.
reach it. If you're talking about the work of a whole team, one person is going to max out pretty quickly in trying to do all that work.
Yep.
But then look at if each person can grow their capacity, how much stronger and better and more productive is that team going to be
Absolutely.
than just one person? It's a no-brainer.
It really is. And it's such a beautiful thing once you get in the flow of growing people and you see them learning and wanting to grow.
It's very rewarding.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. It's just the most fun part about leading to me.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right, let's move into, I like this, what leaders should stop doing in the AI era.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about this.
Yeah, one of the things I thought is that, you should stop confusing information with wisdom. So there's knowledge and then there's wisdom.
Okay.
And we've already talked about it a little bit, but it's just it's that judgment factor. It's information does not equal wisdom.
You can have
knowledge,
all the information in the world and
still make the wrong decision. Still make the wrong call.
Because you don't put the pieces together in the right way.
You don't consider the human aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good. Information versus knowledge. Yeah,
Yeah.
or knowledge versus wisdom.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I meant.
Knowledge versus wisdom. Yeah,
There is a
absolutely.
difference. Very
And
good.
then, leading like expertise alone is enough. We've already talked about that a little bit, but
Competence versus
yeah,
connection.
you got to stop thinking in terms of expertise. It's not enough. Stop hiding behind your polished communication. So it's so funny how people who used to couldn't put together a coherent email now write
Yes.
like, Harvard degree business leaders or
Yeah.
something, it's like that is so obvious AI. We got polished communication now, and we can craft those flowery or perfectly worded emails now. Don't hide behind that. You
But
still got to have the real conversations.
more often than not, doesn't it? It seems like word salad
It does.
instead of something real. You just connected a lot of nice $10 words.
It doesn't really hit the heart like it's supposed to.
Yes.
Yeah. And then delegating the difficult human moments. So
Okay.
to me, what that looks like is, not having those hard conversations, or you're hiding behind technology rather than showing up, at somebody's cubicle or at their office and
Yes.
saying, hey, you're letting AI generate, something that can be sent to them or whatever. So we can't do that. We can't delegate the difficult human moments.
Or not even the difficult ones, but the genuine ones, the spontaneous ones, the happy
Exactly.
ones.
Isn't it true that we can work hard all day long and do a million things right, and we don't hear boo from our boss? But the one time you screw up, you mess up, you don't get it right, they come knocking down your door. We, as leaders, we got to stop that. We got to
That's
start
so good.
celebrating all the wins, and try to be a little more forgiving of the losses.
So good.
Yeah, and then just assuming that efficiency is the highest good, it's not. So
Say that one more time.
assuming that efficiency
If you're
is
telling
the
me
highest good.
efficiency is not the highest good,
That's hard for me to say. I almost choked on it. Because this is how efficient I like to be. When I have errands to run, you know me, I like to make right-handed turns. I don't want to have to go across traffic so I will plan my errands around right-hand turns and how it's going to be most efficient to get in and out of. But if that made you miss your lunch with your best friend because you were trying to be so efficient in your errand running that you made her put her on the end of the list and didn't get to lunch on time and have that good conversation. Sometimes you got to do the things that's inconvenient, not as efficient. It slows you down.
So this takes me back, Michelle, to one of the key concepts that we talked about earlier. Leadership is all about people.
It is. And people are messy.
And people are not always efficient. Interacting with people and dealing with people and all the things it's not always efficient, but efficiency is not the highest
It's not.
good.
It's not the highest good.
Relationships and connections and people are the highest good. Love it.
And here's one of the last ones on this point, and then we can move on. But we treat people developing our people, we treat that like it's a luxury, like something that we will do if we have time.
It's a nice to have.
Yeah, if we get a training budget, if we
Yes.
get this, if we get that.
And what's the first thing to go in hard times, a hard budget situation? Your training plan. We throw it out the window.
Absolutely.
You're suggesting we shouldn't do that.
We should not do that. Investing in your people should be one of the top lines in your budget.
Wow.
That's how you grow the bottom line. And people don't want to hear that. But we have started and created a business based on that because we believe in it so much. Because we think people deserve to be led well. And people deserve leaders that know how to grow them. People deserve to get to go to work and work in a happy atmosphere, even if it's a temporary job. We as leaders should create the environment where people can grow.
Yeah.
And when you do that, people will be knocking down the doors to work for you, and they'll be loyal. They'll work so hard for you, they will affect your bottom line. Yep, we believe in it.
All right, let's talk about a few things leaders should start doing instead of those things they shouldn't be doing.
And I'm going to let you lead this. What should leaders start doing?
So I think we've already talked about this a lot, but it's worth repeating again. Strengthen our decision-making muscles instead of just outsourcing all our thinking, all our creativity, all our pondering. We need to internalize some of that stuff. We need to build those muscles.
Absolutely.
We need to practice that.
I love that.
Yeah. We can't abdicate our decision making. That's one of the key leadership things that we do. Another thing is, and we've touched on this, practice honest, clear conversations. There's no replacement, no amount of efficiency gains, no amount of productivity gains are going to replace conversations. We work in teams. We've already said that the leader doesn't need to be doing it all. He needs to bring the people with them to get the team involved. None of us is as smart as all of us, and we need all of us in the mix. And the way you do that is have conversations. And you need to have them honestly, and you need to have them clearly.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I was reading about in that article that I was reading this morning was that this company has started practicing sitting around a table every week and everybody having to confess what they're allowing AI to do for them.
Ooh.
And some of it was really good, but then some of it was like, hey, we need to use a little more judgment in that. Don't let AI. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Just having the good conversations around it.
Why would we want to have a secret of what we're allowing AI to do for us? I mean, really.
Well, some people are embarrassed.
I get it.
That, AI can come up with better responses to, automated questions or, questions that might come across your desk, and you just, let AI generate
There's no
those.
question AI can do some things better than I can. There's no question about that.
And I think there's some embarrassment and anxiety about that, and anxiety about, if I let AI do this, does that mean they don't need me at this job anymore? So I think as leaders, we have to reassure people, number one, that, AI is not replacing you. We need you as a human here. And so just have those conversations. Yeah.
And this is just coming to me, but I think one of the most important things about what you just said is we're not going to save our jobs by trying to out AI.
Yes.
We're not going to do it by trying
good.
to be better at the stuff that AI can do than AI is. We're going to do it by showing the value of our humanity.
Yes.
And doing the things that AI can't do.
Which is be human.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh, that's good.
That is good stuff.
All right, some more things I think we need to start doing is invest more in trust and in one-on-one development. We've already talked about that.
Yeah.
It can't be overstated the importance of relationships, of connections, of development, and AI just can't do that.
For sure.
We need to do more of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What we need to do more of is use AI as an assistant, not a substitute. Let it be a nice passenger navigator as you're driving the leadership car. Okay. Build self-awareness, and the kind of self-awareness that improves your judgment. Self-awareness is so important. We talk about this as a key component of emotional intelligence, which is super hugely important in leadership.
We talk about it in the human framework as well.
We do.
Understanding.
Yeah,
understanding
yourself.
is you've got to understand yourself. You got to
And
and
understand
others. And that's one of the really key things, I think, is that when we are being self-aware, if we're not careful, we can let AI get in our brain, and we spend more time with AI than we do with people. We
Yes.
keep having these conversations, with AI, and the conversation keeps going, and you keep prompting and keep having the conversation. But it should just be an assistant. It should be just a fraction of your day that you're spent with AI. But one of the things that you have to do to be self-aware is kind of turn off all the noise.
Yes.
You've got to turn off all the noise and let the thoughts come to you. Let, reflection, let some memories come back. How did I interact with that person? Did I rush past them this morning when they needed a conversation with me? Awareness also means we've done these in our careers, which is the 360 reviews, which means the people above, below, and around us get to review us.
Why do we need to do that?
We need to do that because we've got blind spots.
Blind spots.
Everybody has blind spots, and you need people in your life that can help you shine a little bit of light on those blind spots.
And then the last thing, I think we need to become the kind of person, the kind of leader who brings not more chaos when there's chaos, because there's plenty of that already, but that brings calm, that brings clarity when everybody else is getting overwhelmed around you.
Absolutely. I always think about, I've had a person in my life when emergencies would happen. Just like, and I just resisted that. Like, the more chaotic they became, the more calm I would be, because I just wanted to balance it out. And so I think about that a little bit when we think about this last one. When you start getting overwhelmed, I think we have to always go back to, when there's chaos, we have to always go back to our values. What is the most important thing here? What is the big picture? Not focusing on, the little fire that's under our feet, but really focusing on what's really important.
What's really important, and what's really important is not always what's urgent.
Exactly.
All right. I know we need to bring this thing home,
Yeah.
so let's do that. So we've been talking this whole conversation about AI and how, what AI can do, what it can't do, and how really I think the big idea is we don't want to let AI replace the humanity and the necessary human component of our leadership. We can't allow that to happen.
Yeah.
AI we can view it as a threat. I don't think that's the right way to look at it.
I think it's here. I think it's here to stay.
No doubt.
I think it's a part of our lives. And I don't think we should view it as a threat. I think it's a mechanism that we can use to lead.
Yeah. And I think one of the main things that it's doing is it's sorting. It's acting as a sorting mechanism. And I think what it's doing is it's rewarding people who are able to think clearly, who are able to lead courageously, who are able to build trust and develop people and do all those important human things that we've been talking about. This AI age is going to reward those people more so than they've ever been rewarded. And I think it's going to expose people who are just want to be more efficient and just want to be more productive and just, robotic leadership that doesn't have the human element in abundance, and that is just more checking boxes and ignoring the more difficult, more time-consuming, more messy human work. They're going to kind of get exposed in this age of AI because AI can replace a lot of that stuff that we were just talking about. Promoting efficiency, productivity, blah, blah, blah. It's a lot more efficient and a lot faster than we are. And if that's all you've got, you're prime for AI to be able to replace that and do it better than you can.
And I think we said it earlier, AI is exposing shallow leaders.
Yes.
And people that think they are, they think they've been leaders, but they've really been managers. That's going to be exposed even more and more. And I think that we've got a great opportunity as leaders who really love to lead. I think we're going to shine in this time.
I love
So
it.
the more that we develop our leadership skills, the more valuable we're going to become. And you know what? The future really doesn't belong to leaders who can do everything themselves.
All right.
It belongs to the leaders who bring out the best in humans while using the technology wisely. So I think that sums it up, really.
I do too. Hey, thank you so much for being with us in today's M Squared Leadership Conversation. Michelle, I've had a blast talking
It's
about
been
this.
so fun.
Such a good topic.
Absolutely.
And I hope it's been helpful to you out there. We'd love for you to engage in a conversation with us. If you something that we've said struck a chord with you, we'd love for you to leave a comment, reach out to us. Let's have a great conversation about this idea in the chat below.
And if you're wanting to develop your leadership, or you've got others that you're wanting to develop, please give us a call. We will have a discovery call with you. Get in touch with us at m2-lead.com, and we'll be happy to talk more to you or your team. So just remember, leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about being willing to ask better questions. Until next time, let's stay curious, lead well, and keep the conversation going. Bye, guys.